Today we're cooking sous vide, and if you haven't heard about it before, well, Naomi's here. You're going to take us step by step through it. Essentially, it turns an ordinary piece of meat into something a little bit special, and you can do it at home, can't you?
Yes, you can.
So we're doing confit of duck today.
Confit of duck with a lentil ragu.
Oh, one of my favourites.
Yum, yum, yum.
So how do we start?
Okay, so what I need to do first is make a salt rub that we're going to put over our duck. We need to get it into the fridge.
Great.
And we'll go through the next steps.
Good, let's start.
Okay, so we've got 2 cloves of garlic, 3 teaspoons of black peppercorns.
It's quite important when you're doing this for duck because you want to get all that moisture out, don't you?
We do, we do. 1 dried bay leaf. And then 6 sprigs of thyme.
And you can be quite rough at this stage. You know, it's a rub, so it's all going to come off afterwards when we just pat it off the duck.
True. Okay, and then about a 1/2 cup. So I'm just going to guess that there. All right. Now, while I get this rub all nice and pasty, this is all the vegetables that we're going to have for our lentil ragu.
Right.
Do you mind finely chopping them?
Yes,
that would be great.
Okay. So we've got some carrots, fennel, garlic, all the yummy things.
Yes, and we don't need to saute any of those off either. We'll be able to just pop them straight in the bag.
I love using sous vide. Usually, you know, with any protein, fish, lamb, chicken, duck, like we're doing today, but lentils.
Yes, well, this is the nice thing is that we've got 2 different dishes. We're going to cook them off at 2 separate temperatures, but we can do them in advance too. So we can do the lentils first and have that ready the day before, and then we can have the duck. So this is something that you can make in advance. When you're having people over on the weekend, you can have it all ready to go.
All right, well, I've got a lot of chopping to do.
Yes.
We've got to get that into quite a nice paste, so better get to it.
Okay. Okay, so we've got our salt rub on our duck. Now we want to have this sit in the fridge for hopefully 24 hours. We want to get all of the moisture out of the duck. So while we're doing that, we'll cook the lentils.
Great.
Okay, so using one of our vacuum sealer bags.
Lentils in a bag.
No, and we don't need to cook anything off.
Very interesting to see. Yep.
So, lentils in. So we've got French lentils here. Which are beautiful.
So just the poi lentils, but I'm sure you could use any other lentil if you like for this recipe.
Absolutely.
Okay. And in with all the vegetables that we chopped. Okay, that goes. And
about 4 sprigs.
It's about 4. And that goes.
And the last thing we need is the chicken stock. So we've got 2 cups straight into the bag.
And if you're a vegetarian, you want to do this dish, because a lot of my friends who are vegetarian, they love lentils, just use some veggie stock.
Definitely.
Or even water works quite well with this.
Yes, you could do that because all of those flavours are going to really incorporate. Yeah. Okay, so next what we want to do is we want to vacuum the bag. Obviously there's a lot of liquid in this bag, so this time we're just going to seal the bag without removing any of the air. So,
and we're sealing it with
yes, please, if you can bring that one over.
Thing over here, great.
Now what I'm going to do, lifting the lid up, now we're doing it as if we're sealing one end of the bag only. So we're sealing it but without removing any air.
Great.
So just placing it onto the sealing strip, lock those sides down. Okay, press the seal only.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And it'll switch off automatically when it's ready. Okay, we can unlock the sides now. That's all nice and sealed. Now I'm just going to remove the lid. For cooking the lentils and the vegetables, we've got it at 91 degrees.
91 degrees.
Yeah, we'll do this for 4 hours and then we can get this into the fridge and leave that and do our duck. Okay, so popping that in, making sure it's all nice and covered. Pop the lid back on. Got our little heat pad. Okay, and you can set the timer for 4 hours. Okay, and press start to start the timer, and then we can let that cook for 4 hours.
Great, well why don't you and I go and have a cup of tea, relax, and let the sous vide do its thing.
Fantastic.
Out of the fridge, the confit of duck is nearly there. You can see how much liquid's come out of it just from salting it. So what do we do now?
Okay, so normally if you were at home, you just rinse this under a tap, but what we'll do is we're just going to wipe it all off.
This is just as effective,
Yeah, we're just taking off the salt cure. And
you don't want to leave it on there because obviously it'll be really salty.
Yeah.
So just taking that off.
So just giving it a quick wipe off.
Great. And do you want me to pat
that dry. Okay. Oh, that's our sous vide beeping telling us that we're at 75 degrees, which is what we're going to cook the duck at.
And do you want me to put these in
some
bags just like we did with the lentils?
We do. We'll do 2 per bag.
Great. So, I mean, we're doing 4, but that would hold at least...
Oh, you could do double this
12.
if you were serving 8, 12 people, without a doubt.
In they go. And the duck fat. So let's just do 1 here to start with. So how much are we talking?
So 1 tablespoon per piece.
Just a dollop?
Yep.
Gosh, that is a lot less duck fat than what my mum would use when she's doing her confit of duck, or my relatives. They bathe it
Yum.
in a lot of duck fat. So there's 1.
Right. Perfect. And then we'll vacuum seal them. Okay. We want to get all the air out this time, so we're going to completely vacuum it. And pressing the wet. Now the water's been set to 75 degrees this time. So we're going to pop our duck in.
And that's the beauty of sous vide. You're told what temperature works best for what type of meat, or
Definitely.
like the lentils, we're told that, and then you can just turn it on and forget about it.
You can. Okay, pop the lid on. 8 to 10 hours and it'll be perfect.
So would this be possible to put on overnight?
Yes.
The next day you've got a lunch with lots of people coming over.
Yes.
And that's ready to go.
Definitely. And what you can do is, if you are doing it in a couple of days in advance, you can chill that down and get it cold. Then before your dinner party, pop it back in just for an hour, bring it back up to temperature, and then sear it off.
That's a good idea for our lentils. We can put that in just at the end.
Definitely.
So that duck is cooked now. We know it's cooked because we're assured, because it's been cooking at that even temperature throughout that whole time. Let's have a look.
Okay, so we have our duck, and don't forget, an hour beforehand, we pop the lentils in there too, just to warm them through.
I can actually just feel how soft and tender that meat of the duck is.
It's great, isn't it? Okay, so cut the bags open. Now what we want to do is we want to get these into a pan. We want to get some of the fat smoking so that we can sear them off.
Okay.
At the same time, we'll get the lentils in another pan just to warm them through with a little bit of butter and salt and pepper.
Might use some tongs here, they're a little bit hot. Skin side down, sizzle, and we can get some of those lovely juices in there, a bit of that duck fat.
Okay, we'll get the lentil mixture into the other pan. Look at that, beautiful. We'll pop the butter in.
So the butter goes into the lentils.
Yep.
And this just takes moments, doesn't it? We'll just give that a good stir. Just turn that over.
Beautiful. Let's pop the lentils.
They smell so good.
A little bit of the juices.
And this duck is ready. Crispy skin, which is what we like to see. Oh, look at that. Perfection. Cleaning up that plate. On that goes.
There we go. Just a little bit of extra fresh thyme on the top.
It looks really, really good. And when I think of sous vide, automatically I think of 3 Hat restaurants. All the chefs are using it these days. And, you know, if you're a really conscientious cook like I am, like you are, and I'm sure there's plenty of you out there, then the beauty of this is we can do it at home now.
Absolutely.